guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I am Mike, and this is the horror news of the day, episode 2 of Daily Horror News. That's not actually at all daily, but if you want it to become closer to that, if you want to get it a little bit more often to cup it like this, then click subscribe and the bell so you make sure you get these notifications, gets all your horror news in one place, stacked together like so. First up, 28 Days Later is finally, after all this time, getting a sequel, and it's from the main people who made the first one, which is awesome. Danny Boyle and Alex Garland are re-teaming up to take care of this and finally get this in theater. So Danny Boyle is going to direct the first installment of 3 upcoming sequels. Alex Garland is going to write all 3 of the sequels. It says that they are both going to be producing as well, and it doesn't talk about any of the plot details or anything like that. It'd be cool to see Cillian Murphy come back to one of these, especially with everything he's got going on. That would be dope to see. But yeah, I mean, who knows what they're going to do with this, but obviously it's taken this long to gestate. Hopefully it's a badass idea, and just the fact that, I'm not the biggest 28 Weeks Later guy. I just think that following that one main lead after he leaves his family to die, I was like, that guy's unredeemable to me. I'm never going to enjoy his character in this movie. Jeremy Renner's badass. That night vision scene was pretty dope. But yeah, 28 Days Later is an iconic, one of the best zombie horror movies of all time. It's definitely due for a sequel, and the fact that these two are coming back to do it gets me so psyched. It's going to be awesome. It's been a minute since we've had a good zombie movie too. The only bummer is this is probably going to take a long time to come out, so we'll have to hold on to our dicks and wait and see. Abigail, finally, the untitled monster movie from Universal, which is a fucking mouthful. That's what she said. To say, when we've been talking about movies coming out this year, it's Radio Silence, a new movie with Melissa Barrera in it, with fucking Catherine Newton from Freaky in it. Kevin Durant's in this movie. The great Dan Stevens from The Guest is in this movie. Did a full trailer breakdown of that today, so I'll put that at the end of this video for you guys to check out as well. But it's an awesome trailer. The movie looks amazing. It's got Radio Silence's sharp wit in it. The trailer does show a lot in typical Universal fashion, but it looks like it's going to be funny. It looks like it's definitely going to be R-rated. The trailer looks amazing, and if you had any doubts about this movie, it's turning out to look pretty fucking good. And it's already in post-production. It doesn't come out till April the 19th. And to me, if they're not going to jump right into this supposed Escape from New York sequel that Radio Silence is supposed to be doing, to me it seems like, hey, Extreme 7 got pushed back a little bit, our movie came out and we're almost done working on it now. Maybe they can finagle something. Maybe they say, hey, we'll come back, but only if you bring back Melissa Barrera, you bitches. And also, maybe throw her an apology and an extra $1 million. Who knows? Who knows what could happen if they get them to come back or not? But that's just an interesting thing I thought it worth noting, for sure. All right, so I finished filming this entire video and was working on editing it. And then, of course, this news came out. But this is the biggest news of the day. There's no doubt about it. The Exorcist Believer. That was the first. Believer, Deceiver, Golden Retriever. The Exorcist Believer that came out. You guys know my feelings on it. We did a ton of coverage for it. I absolutely thought it was a frozen chunk of poopy. The first half of it was actually surprisingly good, but the second half devolved into this directionless, no actual plan, just kind of corny what the fuck that it became in the second half of the Exorcist movie. And that compared with the fact they spent $400 million on this movie to purchased the rights to it, Blumhouse and Universal and Morgan Creek did, for it to have a bad box office return. You knew something had to be up, right? They weren't just going to release another one of these next year to the same results. Today they announced officially that David Gordon Green, the Halloween Ends director, the Exorcist director, is not going to be coming back to do the sequel. And they took the film off of the release slate. Is this a good thing? I think probably. Not to ever say that, hey, I'm happy a person's losing their job. That's not what I'm saying. And technically he's not. It says that he's going to be moving on to focus on his Ben Stiller comedies that he's doing, as well as season 4 of The Righteous Gemstones. I think it was probably a mutual decision that's like, hey, these horror franchises and you not conglomerating so hard right now for everything. So I'm guessing that's what happened. And the question is now, what does The Exorcist do next? I think David Gordon Green's probably going to take a little horror break, if you ask me. I know he was supposed to be developing a Hellraiser TV series for HBO, but we haven't heard anything about that in so long. I kind of doubt that that's still happening. But what's next for the Exorcist franchise? And the first thought is going to be good. Leave it alone. We're done. All right. We don't need any more attempts at fucking Exorcist sequels. This is ridiculous. Matter of fact, let's just stay away from the exorcism genre for about 6 to 20 years. Really give that a good solid zombie level rest. But that's not going to happen because they spent $400 million for these rights. They are going to, in my opinion, make films with this. They're not just going to let that $400 million project sit on the shelf like that. So I think they're going to do something with it. And I think they say that they're looking for a new director, but with them removing But with them removing it from the slate completely, it makes me think that maybe there's a chance they just drop the whole thing altogether and start anew with a completely different Exorcist project instead of even doing Deceiver. They should probably move on from this entire approach and do a completely different Exorcist thing in its entirety. I totally agree with that. I think this idea, when that movie ended, honestly, does anybody have a thread of where the story's gonna go? That's what we said after it was over with. It's like, don't you fucking tell me that you're gonna Halloween ends this bitch. And because the way it ended was them showing different parts of the town and the different families. And it's like, don't you dare, David Gordon Green, tell me that the next Exorcist movie is about the evil and what it's done to the town around them. Because you did that shit with Halloween Ends. Don't you fucking put it back in your pocket. Put it back in your fucking pocket. I didn't really see where it was going anyways. And as we know, at least David Gordon Green and that whole situation, there's a lot of tinkering. There's a lot of changing of your choices, flip-flopping. I think it's best to definitely move on. So I'm excited for what happens next. My personal pick, the dude who directed When Evil Lurks. I'm not even going to attempt to say your name, dude. But the guy who directed When Evil Lurks, that is an Exorcist type of movie. That is the thing that gets inside of you and doesn't let go, that shocks you, that fucks with you, that has nuts, Jim. Not this just paint-by-numbers horror shit that we're getting, you know? I think if you're going to make an Exorcist movie, I maintain, like I said before, it needs to have a chance to really frighten you. It needs to at least have a chance. Sure, nothing's going to be as scary as The Exorcist, but you should be fucking trying to. You should be trying to be scary with that movie. And a movie like When Evil Lurks, give him that story, and I think that would work out great. If you haven't seen that, Terrified, he also did that as well. So not Terrifier, but Terrified. I think it would work really well. I think they should give it a good old college try. And that's my opinion. Who do you guys think should be the next director of the next Exorcist movie? And would you rather see someone come in and try to do Deceiver? Or would you rather them, if they have to make another Exorcist movie, try another route entirely? So personally, my thing is, what I think should happen is they absolutely should go back and they should Halloween Kills this thing up. Get the set decorators and all those guys. You already have them there, right? Get the people who put that stuff together, Christopher Nelson and all them, to go back in time and recreate the original era that the original Exorcist happened in. It doesn't have to have deep ties to it story-wise or whatever. It could be an exorcism going on across the other side of town while the same thing was happening. But do what they did with the Halloween Kills in the flashback and recreate that time, that creepy time, and do a little period piece there throughout the whole movie. And then I think you could have an inkling of being in the same zone that you were in with that first movie. That's my opinion. That's what I think they should do, and that's who I think that they should hire. What is your opinions of it? And also, I forgot to mention that Sorority Row 2 sounds like it's happening. Josh Stolberg, the writer of Saw 10, who said he's not coming back for Saw 11. We all assume that, oh, maybe they already had somebody else planned to write Saw 11. Obviously, they do because it's coming out in September. Maybe it's because he was wanting to do Sorority Row 2 also. Who knows? All I know is that he posted this on Twitter. He hinted at a little while back that he could be thinking about writing it. Here, he's pretty much confirming that he's absolutely writing it, and he's writing the characters from the first movie, the ladies from the first he's writing the characters from the first movie back into this film, and he says if they don't come back, it's on them. So that's interesting. I thought the first Sorority Row, was it perfect? No, but it was a fun little ass movie. We did a Just Like Scream video of it here, and I had kind of a blasty blast watching it. So I look forward to that coming out. Don't know if it's been greenlit or if it's been accepted or if he's just writing it for fun and trying to sell it afterwards. Who knows? It's not official, but it's official that he's writing it. Sounds like we'll probably end up getting a Sorority Row too, because it's the kind of movie they can make on the cheap and have some fun with. So yeah, back to the original Thuckaroo. And the big news of the other day, David Bruckner has been hired to do a Blob remake. You remember the last person that we talked about doing a Blob remake was old Rob Krusty Zombie was going to do that after Halloween 2. That never came to fruition. Instead, we got the Moonsters. And yeah, so David Bruckner is going to be writing and directing a remake of the Blob. Now, David Bruckner directed some stuff on VHS. He directed a movie called Southbound, The Ritual, which a lot of people remember from Netflix. Guy the other day told me that was his favorite horror movie he'd ever seen. The Night House, he directed that. He directed the recent Hellraiser reboot. So he's pretty good with not going too far CGI, pretty good at classical effects. So it seems like a nice fit. The last thing we want is somebody going in there and put in some computerized horse shit that we get in a lot of movies. Blumhouse, Night Swim. You know, that kind of thing that you don't, sorry, this is allergies. That's a high pollen alert. You guys should really be careful. That's something you want to take seriously. And speaking of Blumhouse, them and Lionsgate just released a new trailer for this new movie, Imaginary. Look, I don't want to seem like a poo-poo pants, potty poopa, but This looks like the same shit. Blumhouse is just force-feeding the same script AI generated into different fashions to me. It's like Megan with the same story of all their fucking horror movies. Oh, there's something creepy happening. Oh, well, let's go visit this person who knows about it. Oh, and they'll give us the secret, and then we'll go back and we'll fix it. It's the exact same plot of fucking Insidious. It's the exact, which rips, but that was a long time ago, you know what I mean? The exact same plot of so many bad horror movies. Good ones too, like The Ring and stuff, but that horror trope's been along for so long. You could just watch these trailers and see the beats that they go down. Not to mention some of the bad CGI I saw in that first trailer. But yeah, I don't know. I hate to be a poo-poo party. I know people love Mithrigan, but sorry, Rotten Tomatoes, it's not the best horror movie of the year. They actually said that Mithrigan was the best horror movie of the year. Blows my fucking tits, man. How could you say that with a straight face when things like Talk to Me and When Evil Lurks are out? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking mental, man? Come on, god damn it. The whole movie was in the, you know what, I'm done. I'm not gonna do it anymore. I'm not gonna fucking do it anymore. Anyways, yeah, this looks like the same ass shit. I don't get it. I really don't. We should ask for more. Well, but it is directed by Jeff Wadlow, who's done such classes as Truth or Dare, as Cry Wolf, as Fantasy fucking Island, by Blumhouse as well. You know what to expect. We know what this is going to be. Anyway, the new trailer's out now, you fucking marks. I'm just kidding. If you guys are excited about it, I'm pumped for you. I'm going to go see it. I'm going to try to have high hopes, but I don't, Steven. I don't. I do have high hopes for you guys returning for the next episode of this show. I hope you're enjoying it. I enjoy you. Deep, dark, and into the night. We will see you soon on the next episode. Ha
Here comes that white-faced fucker, an asshole like no other. He's a big old piece of shit. Wants to stab your sister's tits cause he's a white-faced fucker. Loomis can't recover. Dr. Challenge drunk again, sleeping with your sister's friends.
Do you want to know about the darkness?
I said, God damn.
God damn you, faggot!
Halloween never ends, suck my fucking dick, and I don't really care what Blumhouse fucking says. Put him in a box, or suck a fucking cock. You can say he's dead, but we all know he's not, yeah. So let's go trick-or-treating, let's go fucking drinking, let's all go rent Pumpkinhead on VHS.